My name is Darren Hupke, and this is Pixels and Polygons, part of the Soundstone Network. Welcome to a new episode of Pixels and Polygons. I am Darren Hupke, the host of the show. If you are a returning listener, thank you so much for coming back and checking out another episode. Hopefully this is another entertaining one for you, and I appreciate you for coming back week after week. If you are new, it's a simple pitch. I sit down with a guest each week and I ask them a video game related prompt or question, and we talk about it. It's 20 to 40 minutes or so each episode. This can stem from topics like what's a underappreciated or below average game you love that doesn't get enough attention, or what is your history with video games? When did you start playing and when did you fall in love with them? Or why do you play the games that you play? There could be a lot of different things. The conversations can go in a lot of different directions, but the point is just to have a great and thoughtful conversation that maybe sparks your own ideas or your own interests as a listener to think about your own responses, and hopefully just have some fun along the way. If you like what you hear and you want to support the show, I've got a few different ways you can do that. I have links in the show notes below to everything that I do, and I'll highlight one of those in particular. 32-Bit Library is a retro gaming book series for nostalgic gamers. Each volume is a curated retrospective of games from the original PlayStation library. Every game has a written entry discussing its development and what made it special, rather than a generic review. Multiple screenshots from each game highlight key moments and refresh readers on these classic titles, and every title features a giant double-page screenshot for added visual flair. Additional essays by industry professionals provide context and history within each volume. Whether you are a die-hard PlayStation fan or want to explore the history of this generation for the first time, the goal is that you'll learn something new inside every volume. You can find links in the show notes below, or head over to pixelsandpolygons.net to buy your own physical copies, or over to patreon.com/Darren Hupke for the digital editions. With that out of the way, we can start the episode right after an ad from one of our Soundstone Network partners.
Listen to Flashback 64, the chronological Nintendo 64 podcast. Hosts Gooey, McKenna, and friends flashback to the 90s and early 2000s with a look at the Nintendo 64's catalog and its contemporary cultural and historical context. Starting with the console's launch titles and proceeding in release order, we discuss classics like GoldenEye, Super Mario 64, and Star Fox 64, as well as some not-so-beloved games, lesser-known titles, and everything in between. Along with game-specific deep dives, we also cover other bits of pop culture from the time, like films, music, and more. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Pixels and Polygons, a conversational podcast about video games. I am Darren Hupke, and this week I'm with podcasting and retro gaming brother, Gooey. Hello, Gooey.
Hey, I thought you said Pickles and Polygons.
Pickles and Polygons. That's the food. That's a food podcast I do. Yeah, I'm doing the new Pixels and Polygons quarterly, which is replacing the retro game zine that I was doing monthly last year. And I'm going to have like a comic in the issue just to have like extra stuff and everything. And so I thought of a title for what the comic series and comic strips that, you know, hopefully will be regularly in the issues will be called. And it's going to be called Pencils and Polygons. And it's like a hand-drawn looking version of the logo I'm envisioning and everything, but like, you know, pencils instead of pixels. And the logo, it's already got a yellow square to it. Like you can almost like draw on just a pencil tip and eraser to the end of it. And I see it all unfolding right in front of my eyes. So we got Pickles and Polygons for the eating and foodie podcast. Pencils and Polygons for all you illustrators out there.
That could be a section. You could have a little recipe section in there, a little recipe corner.
Or just every time there's been a digital pickle in a video game, I could just have a random screenshot of various in-game pickles over the years.
I'd love to see some either low poly or like, nice pixel art pickles. Like, that sounds really good right now. I'm hungry.
Yeah, actually, I am too. This is a bad time to do this. All right. Well, welcome back to the show. You've been on numerous episodes.
Thank you.
You edit the show actually as well, too. I don't think I actually really talk about that out loud that much. But yeah, well, what's new with you, Goo?
Oh, not. I mean, I guess a ton. We're just coming out of the holiday season. I feel like I'm just like kind of landing from that, because we on Flashback 64 we like prepped basically everything for we're usually a month ahead, but we kind of prepped everything ahead of time for January in the holiday season, and now I'm like just getting back into the swing of things. We also went to over New Year's, we went to McKenna and I went to Zeldathon, and we played some Link's Awakening at Zeldathon. So settling in from all that, holidays, New Year's, Zeldathon, getting back into the swing of things, feeling good.
And you're doing this month. This will come out relatively soon. This will be a January 2026 episode, but you're doing you're playing through Quest 64 and Banjo-Kazooie right now on your stream. Like, you're going to be doing that regularly for the month.
Yes, we're trying to. We usually stream, every Monday. Twitch.tv/flashback64pod, and that's when our Monday streams we get together with my brother and some of our other friends, and we play whatever game together. It's not necessarily N64, but because we're actually approaching Banjo-Kazooie and it's on NSO, we like to do those streams where we can, or Nintendo Classics, we can pop in on the Nintendo Classics app and pass the controller essentially. And so we've done it with Yoshi's Story and Mario 64, and it's a fun way to like prep for the game, because it's just more fun. It's somewhat of a throwback, playing with your family, passing the controller back and forth. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So
yeah, that's cool.
Check that out.
Somewhere Dre is nodding in approval that you called it Nintendo Classics and you appropriately gave it the right name.
I have a hard time because NSO just flows off the tongue,
Yeah, though that's fun. So we'll have the Twitch links in the show notes below, but also the Flashback you can listen to, of course, on the Soundstone network, soundstone.network. You can go there on the website, but also at most podcast platforms and apps that you use. It's found, or you can find it there. All that jazz. Follow, like, subscribe, thumbs up, contribute to Patreon, all that stuff for Flashback.
Please. I'm begging you.
You've got you do the stickers for the Patreon backers, right? That's what the stickers are for.
Yep. There's no like promise of never ending stickers, but our friend Miranda, who's an artist, I'll occasionally talk to her about, oh, wouldn't this make a nice sticker? And she'll like mock up a design and she can print them herself. So whenever we do have those, we send them out to people, because I found like just we haven't had much like success with like an actual merch store, and I feel stupid like putting up like a sticker to sell and you pay for shipping. So I figured, hey, if you sign up for our Patreon and we do happen to have some stickers made, I'll send them to you. So no guarantee of that forever happening. It's really just whenever Miranda does them, but we do have a design in the works right now, and I won't spoil what it is, but it is for a popular Nintendo 64 game that we have covered. So,
oh boy, so it could be one of three things. I wonder which popular game that could be.
It's a rare game. I'll say that.
You've already done Ocarina, Resident Evil, Turok. So. Yeah, there's only so many options.
We've arguably done some that I was like, I was thinking about this. I commissioned this one because I was like, we should do one because we had Turok, and Resident Evil's popular, but it's maybe I was like, we should do one for like one of the like more popular episodes we've done. Like I looked at our episodes. Like this is me, like the marketing side of me. I was like, what was the popular episode? Let's do a sticker for that. Maybe people want that. So
that's smart. That's smart. That's good business instincts.
Turok sticker was cool. The mystical ninja sticker is awesome. I love it. But, a lot of people were like, who is this? What is this sticker?
What is a title?
Where's Mario?
Let's make sure people check that stuff out. Again, links in the show notes below and everything. But let me ask you an icebreaker question. Let me get your juices flowing with a video game related question. Who is one of your favorite non-main characters in a video game?
Ooh, okay. Does, you know what? This is just what comes to mind. I always go Zelda because that's kind of what I have spent most of my time thinking about. But I'm just going to say Tingle. I like
Tingle. Okay.
Tingle is like a very memorable character. I like that he's gotten, his own set of games and, he's polarizing figure. But, if I sat and thought about it, I might think of someone else. But Tingle was who came to my mind first. And yeah.
Did you ever get to do the Tingle tuner, like the GBA connected to GameCube for Wind Waker, where a second player can like control Tingle and drop bombs and things like that, right? I've always wanted to do that. I always wanted to do it back then, but never got a chance to do it. I don't know why. I had all the right equipment to do it, so I don't know why I never did it.
I did that with my brother had a I never had a GBA, but my brother did, and I would steal it from him. But we definitely did do that, and it was like a fun sort of like novelty, but it wasn't like we did not keep playing the whole game like that. It was not, it was just not, I don't know. The gimmicks like that, I don't fully get into.
Yeah. I mean, if it like, to be able to drop in and drop out of doing that or supporting that is kind of cool. The other thing another way that I like to, or wanted to invent multiplayer in hopes that maybe I'd play with like my wife or something on a game that on a non-traditional way. Mario Galaxy, like I would like to play it with like the virtual console, like the classic controller and everything with a just more traditional analog and everything. So when I wasn't using the Wii remote, I couldn't, do that on screen like pointer and everything, but I could give that to her as a second player and she could like shoot stars and like kind of like point along. And I always wanted to play that a lot. And I think one night, maybe we tried it for like 15 minutes and she was like, yeah, this is fun. And like, never did it again. And like, never had a chance to like sit and play like kind of co-op with that. But I like the idea of like a co-op experience, but where the two players are doing something completely different or like mechanically different. Even it's not just controlling a second character with the exact same skills or like split screen of the same mechanics or anything, but like you're almost playing two different games or supporting another person's game. Like that idea always seems so cool to me, but like there's not a lot of like opportunities to do that.
They need to bring back Lucky and Wild, the arcade game.
Lucky and Wild. I don't think I know this.
I'm trying to remember who made this, but it's like it's an arcade game where one person is driving and shooting, and then the other person is just in the passenger seat and they're shooting.
I'm sure it's like one of the. I have seen this. Yes, yeah.
Who made this? It's one of the big. I think it's one of the big arcade.
Namco made it.
Namco. Okay, yeah. I love when that's like, I've been to a couple arcades that have that, and I love the like, granted, you're both shooting, so it's, you're sort of doing the same thing, but I love that idea of like one person it's like a buddy cop or a sort of game, I would love like a game like that to come back. I guess, I'm going to assume that happens at some points in like there's like all those new kind of multiplayer games that I have what is it? It Takes Two. I'm going to assume there's parts of that where you're doing different stuff.
Yeah, but that is, and there was the you like broke out. I think it's called A Way Out, maybe. But like two separate players were breaking out of a prison and all that stuff. And you were in different areas at different times. And sometimes, you as a player had to like, oh, I've got to distract this guard or unlock this door so this other person can come through. And like, that is neat. But mechanically, you're essentially playing like the same controls and things like that. No, which is fine though. I do like it because you are playing like different games, but when you like spice it up and it's almost like different entire like mechanics or control like styles and all that stuff could be even crazier. Like again, this is like another weird pull, but there's that EVE Online. It was like a space station, like space shooter MMO type of thing. They had like tried to like get really bold with that, and there was going to be like a PS3 version called like Dust or something weird, but it was going to be like a first person shooter type of thing, but you were going to be able to like get in these battles and these conflicts, and if you help like your certain side like win more of these conflicts, you'd get more resources, which would help that company. And if you were supporting that company in the MMO space station, like space exploration side of things, you'd get money and resources from doing that in a completely separate game on a completely separate platform. And it was like connecting them. And I think it was released, but it fizzled very quickly, or maybe it was canceled and scaled back and stuff like that. But there's some unique collaborations and combinations of things. I want to see more of those. I like more of those weird things.
I think that would work really well for us, because I think in our household, the Flashback household, McKenna and I are we have kind of different tastes in games, and I feel like we've done the like Mario Galaxy, or in Donkey Kong Bonanza, they have a similar sort of mode where someone can play as Pauline, but it's one where it's like, it's not quite engaging for the second player. I feel like it's more meant to like when you give a kid like a steering wheel when you're driving and they're pretending they're driving, it's a little bit more interactive than that. So I would love a game that like somehow could fuse like our two interests as gamers to where we could both play it, but like do the thing that more fits our sort of vibe. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I think a fun idea would be if there was like an Animal Crossing like hub world where like you could meet back up, like, the spoils of like your gameplay of unlocking or finding special items or things that you want to bring back to your like home base to decorate or build up or enhance, whatever it may be. You can have this hub area where you can casually just kind of play around together, but then venture off this island to like, the fishing village where suddenly you're playing like a fishing game and like doing contests and stuff like that, or like the adventure world where then suddenly you're in a hack and slash like dungeon style like exploration thing and whatnot. But you can ultimately still come back from all that and reconvene in like a hub area, which is designed to be like, hey, I don't like any of that stuff, but you can go get that stuff for me so that I can have some of it. And then you don't like to do this stuff, well, I'll go do this stuff and bring back and share and everything. So one day I want to design video games. All right, so somebody pay me to do this and let me make you money. I swear I can come up with at least one good idea if you finance my brain,
please.
Anywho, that was a fun way to talk about Tingle. So thank you, Tingle, for that tangent.
I forgot about him.
Tingle's tangent was cool. This is actually the first episode I'm recording in 2026. So this is kicking off what I'll call season 3 of the show. I don't know why, but we'll just call it that. And it's my show. I can do what I want. But I retooled and kind of like reformed some of the questions. I kind of took out a lot of the questions that weren't really getting asked. And I tried to kind of expand upon some of the thoughts and ideas that I had for the questions. But you wanted to pick and talk about one of the like the difficulty related questions. So Goo, I kind of would like to have a conversation on like, how do you play your games? Whether that's like the easy mode or the hardest challenge, like what does difficulty really even mean to you? And if there's been like some proud achievements or accomplishments you've had, but like really just unpacked like how you play your games and the idea of difficulty for you. What does that mean for you when you play your games?
So there's the first of all, the sort of non-answer answer, which is like, it depends on the game. For one, and like when it came out and stuff like that. So I would say like if I'm playing like whatever brand new game that just came out, like a I don't know, a mainstream whatever game, and there's the different options, I'll probably just pick normal because I feel like that's, and then go from there. If I feel like I want to kick it up or down or whatever, but I usually start at normal. I want to go for the show for Flashback 64, when I'm playing a game from that era, like the mid to late 90s, I start on easy, like almost always, no matter what, because the expectations of difficulty of like what is considered easy on average is a much bigger ask. And if like we're playing a game right now where easy mode is like unbeatable for me. So I'll start there, and then like kind of as I get more, they're more games. They're more meant to be replayed, and you get more familiar and you get better. Whereas like a modern game, I feel like is more designed to, you're going to get through this game. You're going to be all right, you know, if on normal, like an average, like regular person who regularly plays video games. You know?
So would you say it's more like playing games for you, it's more for entertainment than challenge? Like, I mean, obviously, like you can have both of those things and they both exist, but would you lean more towards like, hey, I want to play this game for more of its entertainment value and like it bringing like me like fun and joy and excitement rather than being like, oh, I want something to test me and push me to like overcome something. Like, where do you think you land there on that spectrum?
I definitely like a little bit of a challenge. Like, yeah, I feel like if the game, obviously it's like a thing where like certain types of like mechanics and stuff, like I can more easily like engage with and like take a slightly higher difficulty on, and I don't mind like the actual like friction of it or whatever. Like last year, like Silksong was one of those games where it's like you're getting in, like they have these bosses or enemy encounters where I would have to, you know, play them over and over and get better at it. And, you know, like actually overcome the challenge. But then there's definitely other types of games. I can't think of a good example, but like other types of games where I'm like, it just doesn't click with me. It just doesn't understand. And usually that just means like, I just don't play it, you know, if it's not for me. But in the case of like a Flashback 64, like, I want to do my best to kind of like understand the game and like what at least what they think you need to do to like be good at it. So I will spend like a lot of time, like McKenna will spend more time kind of like looking into like the manuals and like the lore and the Nintendo powers and stuff, and I'll spend a lot of time just figuring out like, how are you supposed to beat this game? How are you supposed to get good at this game? But then, yeah, if I'm just like a game I'm just playing in the meantime for fun, I like there to be a little bit of challenge, but I'm not opposed to like sometimes just being like, I want a chill, breezy game. You know, I'm not like I don't consider myself like a pro gamer or anything like that.
Yeah, I think I will approach games, I think, with that entertainment first. Like, I think I just want to I want to have like fun playing the game. Like, I don't want it to be like too easy though. Like I try like you, like I will be like on like whatever the standard like normal difficulty is, because I'm assuming like the developer is like, hey, this is where we think like the fair balance of like challenge and like, you know, access, you know, it needs to be and everything. So I usually will stick with that. And then if it's a game like I really, really enjoy or has like, you know, trophies or usually that's probably the reason I'll go to harder difficulty, if there's like trophies to unlock for beating it on the hardest difficulty or something like that. Like if I'm really, really into something, then I'll be like, okay, let me give that a shot. Let me see if I can do that. Or like I am only going to do this because I want to like complete, you know, quote unquote, complete this game by getting all the trophies or unlockables or whatever it may be. But like, I don't like it when a game is too punishing or too difficult or like designed just to be that way. Like, I mean, I know obviously people love like all the Souls and like Dark Souls games and all those FromSoft games and all that stuff. And maybe like I just have the wrong idea of what they are, but like the idea of needing to like challenge every boss, you know, dozens and dozens of times over to like to almost fuse like luck and circumstance to like do it. Like that's too much for me, I think. But then at the same time, like you can go on YouTube and like watch players like go through like, oh, with no equipment and the lowest level stats, and I complete the game without getting hit. You're like I understand then, like clearly it's not hard just to be hard. Like there is skill there and everything, but sometimes if it's like too steep of a wall to climb to get to that skill, like that could almost like turn me off or be frustrating. So I like to experience the game in that normal space to see how much I'm engaged with it, how much I enjoy it. And then if I feel like, oh man, I'm really good at this, like, let me see how good I am, then let's bump this up and we'll challenge myself this way. And so difficulty for me is a sliding scale, but like by default, I always lean into that normal, quote unquote, normal level of difficulty.
One thing that I discovered, this really has not much to do with like the specific difficulty level, but one thing I found is, because I'm definitely someone who gets like, I get like really heated at game. Like they make, like if the past couple of nights, I was playing Pokemon Ruby and which is not a hard game at all, but I was like getting my butt kicked by some gym leader and I was getting so pissed off. Like, and it's like, that's the, like a game like that's like meant to be like fun and chill and relaxing it has the potential to make me mad. But I found what makes it, there's something about it if I'm playing it like on the TV and there's like people watching me, it's not even like the embarrassment. It's just like, I can't handle like the focus being on like what I'm doing. And I start overthinking things and I get really frustrated and I get mad. And sometimes like that'll like on a stream that can happen and it'll get me upset, or like, and I can just like feel the bad vibes. And that was happening at one point. McKenna was watching me play some Silk Song because she's really into the vibes of the game and stuff. But there would definitely be times where, like, if a boss was giving me trouble, I'd be like, okay, I need to play this handheld, and like we need to have something else on because I cannot be like the focal point. And I found in that the actual act of like, there were some bosses I would play for like 45 minutes, like retrying or like, doing like 6 tries or more. And just playing it handheld, watching TV or something, like it was like calming. It was meditative. It was there, like the difficulty. It didn't bug me because it felt like I don't really mind like dying over and over. Like if I'm in my own little zone and I feel like the game's not unfair, you know what I mean? I would have moments where I'd die and I'd be like, oh, but like, it wasn't in like oh, I'm seething type of way. It was like just that like moment where you're like, but overall, like I can handle that. So even those, it's really about not just like the game, but the setting you're playing in, stuff like that. I'm definitely someone who like, I need my own space sometimes. My ideal world is I'd be playing that in like a dark closet where no one can look at me and like feel my shame of when I die. But I like it. It's calming, weirdly, to play like a game like that if the mechanics are like good and engaging.
Yeah, that's like that mindset. It's like I've been doing a lot of research into skateboarding stuff for a thing I'm working on, and like, you can watch a skate video and see like somebody just like nail a trick and you're just like, oh man, that guy's good. But if you go back and watch like what it takes to actually get to that point, like there is like 30 failures of attempting that trick like before doing that and everything. So repeatedly going after like a boss like that and over again, you're just kind of mentally in this groove of like, yeah, you don't want this focus to be on you. You don't want this energy. You're just kind of wanting to be single-mindedly being able to kind of like allow yourself to be in that space. And then ultimately, like, yeah, it works. It all clicks. It comes together the right way. Yeah. And you nail it. It's like, there we go. That's what I needed. Like that's exactly what I was working for and working towards and everything. And that's like that rewarding, dopamine hit that you kind of needed to validate and everything. I'm sure obviously there's people who do like to have that, like, that crowd or that attention or have many people watching them do that and, kind of like root people on for, being able to achieve and succeed in things like that. But yeah, that extra level of pressure for me would just be, maddening. Like, yeah, what if I don't land this? What if I don't finish this? What if I don't beat this boss? Like I'm trying to do this speed run and, X amount of time. And like, what if I can't make it to that time? Like it's just amplifying that anxiety on top of what it is you're trying to already do to challenge yourself. So that could be, that could be nuts.
I think that's why I never, like historically in my life, have like gravitated towards like more competitive oriented games, like fighting games, or like when like shooters were like real, like when like Call of Duty or even Halo before that, like first got big. Cause it was like, you'd go up to the arcade cabinet, or you go to your friend's LAN party, and like I'm new to it, and I just get stomped, and it's like, oh, it's like it kind of hurts, and I'm not like a competitive person like that, where I'm like I need to now like figure out how to get better at it. And I feel like, especially with fighting games, where it was like the only way to like really, I don't think like you could play through arcade mode and get better at it, but I feel like the way to like really get better at it is to just like play other people. And like that always was like scary to me, you know, to like have to go up against someone to, like, I always lost. You know? So.
Well, what's crazy about that is like, you know, eventually when games get that competitive, like players like break their like the game's natural like design by, because you can play a fighting game against a computer over and over again, but that AI is only programmed to do so much. Like when players obsessively like, you know, master a game like that, they're learning like what tricks or like what moves do like the most damage, like how to string together like the right like special moves or things like that, or like create like combos that maybe weren't even originally intended to be a part of what it was. So you can't really play against like the AI or by yourself like in arcade mode and then think I'll get good enough to then go to a competition, because the competition's probably already gone through 3 different focuses of, you know, what makes that game that competitive level of game, and it's entirely different from what maybe those intentions were, which is, you know, just another aspect of, you know, humans, you know, shaping and evolving, you know, the tools that they're working with and everything. But yeah, that's cool. I think there we kind of answered the question. We kind of heard your point. We did the thing. I think that difficulty obviously is a bigger conversation. There's a lot more that, you know, we can come back together and talk about in the future for sure too. Obviously, you know, proud accomplishments or challenges maybe that you've overcome, but yeah, we kind of answer the question there. So thank you, Goo, for joining me on this first 2026 episode. Anything you want to plug or share or highlight that's coming up that you're excited about before we wrap up?
Yeah, I will say one thing, and it ties into difficulty. One thing that I really also find that's cool, like that people can do, is like find your own way to make it fun. Like if you want to use, you know, save states or rewinds, I'll sometimes do that for games that are new to me. But if it's like a really engaging game and I want to see, like, figure out like how do you actually get good at this? Because I think something does kind of get lost if you kind of like rewind your way through a game. You don't fully like get immersed in it, but it's a good starting point, I think, for a lot of people who are like maybe not as in those mechanics. But I also really love cheat codes in a lot of like in N64 games. And one game that I'm employing cheat codes heavily in is Forsaken 64, which we will have an episode coming probably early February, but get ready for that, because we're about to record that one. And it's a game that I don't know how anyone could beat it without cheat codes, actually.
That's interesting. Yeah. I like the idea of save states as well, though. Like if you have like a few like well-placed ones that, like, you know, so you don't have to replay like whole large sections of a game to get to like that challenging point. Because ultimately, if you use that save state and you kind of like overcome that, then you can string that together and actually maybe go back and play through the entire level or entire section or whatever it is that you're attempting, and to being able to complete it. You know, I don't mind like the rewind and save state features, you know, in modern games, because I think it allows people to potentially get through games that they never were able to, like in a skill-based reasons, you know, were able to get through before. Not that they couldn't, but it just may have required like a much more like time investment. It's not necessarily a skill thing. Like, hey, I've proven I have the skills to beat and string together all of these things, but like if I don't have a flawless run of this, I'm just never going to see the end. So being able to use things like that can help you like reward yourself with like, no, I've earned this, or I can see this, or I can practice this, so that you can ultimately like earn and do that. So that's actually a good call out that, you know, it's good. It's worth talking about, I think, for sure. Yeah. But yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Goo. We'll look forward to the Forsaken 64 episode then soon in the future. I've seen you streaming that a little bit as well. Thank you for jumping on the show. And again, in the show notes, you'll see the links to the Twitch channel, of course, and like the links to the podcast, so you can listen to Flashback 64 yourself. Like, subscribe, follow, support, whatever you want to do. Do all of that for Flashback. And if you want, do it for me as well. It's up to you. Your choice, your call. But thank you, Goo. We will have you on in a future episode for sure. That's all I got.
Hello, we are Kirby Conversations, a podcast on Kirby, along with other adjacent subjects like Smash Brothers, HAL Laboratory, and other related Nintendo games.
In each episode, we take an in-depth, well-researched look at a Kirby topic, drawing on our decades of experience playing Kirby games, creating Kirby-related content, and working in and around the video game industry. I'm Sean Douglas. I'm a theater and video game journalist.
And my name's Bridget. I'm an online Kirby commentator and collector.
Our team also includes photographer and Nintendo ambassador Kai, Captain Dangerous Parker, and Gigi, the editor-in-chief of Wick Kirby. Join us for deep dives into Kirby's history, interviews with industry professionals, and even inside looks at Nintendo, as together we explore all things Kirby and HAL Laboratory. You can find Kirby Conversations on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.